For the last 30 years, the Chinese regime has never allowed an official investigation into these events. Textbooks in China ignore this piece of history altogether. The media cannot report on the Tiananmen crackdown, as the government bans publications related to the event, even in English. The topic has become China's biggest taboo. The government censors internet searches for Tiananmen Massacre, 64, Tiananmen, and even today. The Communist Party reshuffled the top leadership, following the suppression of dissidents in Beijing and other major cities. Many liberal reformers were removed, replaced by conservatives. Many political reforms, such as introducing more intra-party competition, ended. In one study, Fordham legal scholar Carl Misner showed that the post-Tiananmen regime in China has become more repressive, reflected in the heightened power of police chiefs and skyrocketing police spending. Over the last 3 decades, the Chinese domestic security apparatus expanded dramatically. Stability maintenance, a government euphemism for repressing collective protest, became a top priority for local Chinese authorities. Government authorities harass, detain, and arrest individuals they deem a threat to the regime, and vast numbers of government and informally recruited personnel keep watch over selected political dissidents, citizen activists, and public interest lawyers. The recent crackdown on Uyghurs, an ethnic minority concentrated in Xinjiang, suggests that China has almost become a police state.
The Goddess of Democracy. This was a statue that was constructed over 4 days out of foam and papier-mâché over a metal armature. The constructor decided to make the statue as large as possible to try to dissuade the government from dismantling it. The government will either have to destroy the statue, an action which will potentially fuel further criticism of its policies, or leave it standing. Nevertheless, the statue was destroyed on June 4 of 1989 by soldiers clearing the protesters from Tiananmen Square. Since its destruction, numerous replicas and memorials have been erected around the world, including Hong Kong, San Francisco, Washington, D.C., and Vancouver. The art student who created the statue wrote a declaration that said in part, "At this grim moment, what we need most is to remain calm and united in a single purpose. We need a powerful cementing force to strengthen our resolve. That is the goddess of democracy. Democracy, you are the symbol of every student in the square, of a heart of millions of people. Today, here in the People's Square, the People Goddess stands tall and announces to the whole world. A consciousness of democracy has awakened among the Chinese people. The new era has begun. The statue of the Goddess of Democracy is made of plaster, and of course cannot stand here forever, but as the symbol of the people's heart, she is divine and inviolate. Let those who would sully her beware. Her people will not permit this. On the day when real democracy and freedom come to China, we must erect another goddess of democracy here in the square. Monumental, towering, and permanent. We have a strong faith that that day will come at last. We have still another hope. Chinese people arise. Erect the statue of the goddess of democracy in your millions of heart. Long live people. Long live freedom, and long live democracy."